I don't think I can restart it now.
Do we need to?
It's fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All that means is I think it just like it records as we go instead of like after the fact being like, oh, I'm still uploading.
What did we say the best thing to link to was? Twitter?
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter.
Twitter.
We get the most traffic on Twitter. There we go.
There.
Also, talking about it being one of those days when I was like, oops, time got away from me. I put that in the anti-win or like in your that thread. I was like, nobody else besides the two of you is going to know what I'm talking about. I deleted it.
Oh, yeah.
Right below the Steve Urkel.
I was going to make a joke about like, oh, the Discord server got away from you too, but I was like, don't kick her while she's already running late.
I deleted. Well, and I was like, because what happened was I put that message on a different computer, and then I got onto my personal computer to fire everything up. I was like, I know I sent that message. And then I opened my other computer back up, and I was like, oh, wrong channel. Delete. All good.
Let's see here.
Do I have icebreaker content
live with Amy and Brad? Come hang out in our chaotic stream today.
I was like, we want people to come.
Who knows what we'll talk about? But join
possibly not even AI.
Mm-hmm. That's like not a chance.
I've got a decent icebreaker. It's still tech though, but I used to watch a lot more YouTube. The coding content was fun, interesting, new JavaScript frameworks, new techniques. I don't watch any of the AI YouTube content.
It depends on what it is, and I go through phases. So there's a couple of AI people that I like, but it's mostly just whatever, if they put something out that I'm interested in. So
yeah, because I don't care about like a new video about a new model. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. They're all good now. Like, who cares? It's more like harnesses that I might care about, but then I feel like it's a feel thing. Like you have to use it and not.
Oh, I see.
Don't know. Like I could look at syntax and be like, oh, I like that or I hate that, and I could get that from a video, but I couldn't get that same feeling from like an app or something.
Yeah. I like Claire Vaux. I've been watching a lot of her stuff. She has a channel called How I AI, and she's part of the like Lenny, if you know him. He's a PM from, I want to say Airbnb, but he's like made his, I don't know, fame, I don't know, influencer status, whatever, talking about PM products, more product focused stuff. And he has, I don't know if Claire's the only one in his network. I don't know. But she does a good job. And she interviews kind of like a random, not random, but like kind of a general swath of people. Like she'll have some people like some of the Claude Code guys or the OpenAI people on there. But she'll also get like homeschool mom talking about like, how does this even apply in our house? Which I think is really interesting. So
yeah,
she's good. And then Greg, I don't know. Greg has a weird last name. He has like, I think it's called the Startup Ideas Podcast. He's usually pretty cutting edge. So like, you know, as soon as Hermes became a thing, he had a video about that. He had one, you guys will be interested to hear this. He had one within the last couple weeks about Cloudflare, and I flagged it as one I want to go back and watch, but I haven't watched it yet. Where is this? Hold on. 4 days ago, Cloudflare will make 1,000+ AI millionaires. So I was like curious what he had said about Cloudflare.
I'm gonna claim a spot. I would like to be a millionaire. So where do I put in my application where they make me a millionaire?
To get on his list.
Is that how it works? Hello. I like AI. I would like to be a millionaire.
You qualify. I like Cloudflare.
I qualify. That's great. For YouTube, I've been watching this guy by the name of Beard FM. Oddly, we look alike in a way. Like,
yeah, I can see it.
Like sometimes I'm like, man, I should have. But this dude and his
I've seen
iOS automations are insane. He has like a lot of really cool stuff that he does with Claude in his automations, and he's doing a lot on iOS 27 right now with all the developer beta stuff. But and he just developed his own app, and I'm noticing that a lot of these another person developed their own app that sits on top of and he did the same thing in a different way, but it sits on top of notes, it sits on top of reminders and all that, but it pulls it into one spot. So it's not a to-do list system, but it's it's using what already exists in Apple. It's just a nice way of making it come into like a daily view and Kanban view and stuff like that. I think Dave, this Robles dude, he did a little bit differently, but yeah.
Who are you thinking of? I wonder if it's the same guy that I watch.
It might be a different guy. He's another bearded dude.
Redhead?
He does a lot on iPad. Yeah, Ginger. He has like he does a lot of
It's the same guy.
I think that guy's
What's his name? What's his name? I thought his last name was Lawler or something.
Christopher. I knew it was a good name.
Yeah. Christopher Lawley.
Yeah.
I was close. Yeah, I watch his stuff too. I really like him.
Yeah. Lawley, though, he's the one who created the app that sits on top of what exists. Steve Robles, he did one where he's like, I love reminders, but I wanted something a little more. So he kind of developed that. But Lawley's stuff I'm actually tempted to try his app out because I'm like, I kind of like that idea of I could still use the Apple ecosystem, but then it ties it all in together as one. Anyway.
Yeah, he's the one that I've been watching all of his iPad stuff because I've wanted to be like all in on the iPad. And so I've watched it for years being like, could I do that? Could I do that? And then I feel like just recently with all the Hermes stuff, I'm like, I could do that. I could go all in.
This is cool. I'm not far behind on the whole iOS development train. Everything Brian is posting in Discord about his fitness app, I'm like, yeah, I got to get in on this whole Apple ecosystem. It's just, if you want an app that's everywhere with you, put it on iOS, put it on Apple stuff.
Yeah.
I have the one I started. So, well, here, let me go live because I want to talk about this on air, like officially.
Well, we are live.
It's
too late. It's too late. But we can do the songs and the intro.
The podcast part. Yeah. Yeah. I'll make this is how you make it official.
All right.
Let's do it. Let me cue up the intro. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Compressed FM, a podcast all about web design and development with a little bit of zest. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about token guilt.
Web development and design, who would have guessed? Well, we can do them both, even add a little zest. So turn up the volume, get ready for the best. Let's get it started in this episode of Compress.
Hello, my name is Amy Dutton. I am a senior design engineer at Cloudflare.
Hey, y'all. My name is Brad Garapi. I'm a senior systems engineer at Cloudflare.
And my name is Chris Nowicki, and I'm a developer experience engineer at Commerce.
Woohoo. Okay, so we were talking about iOS development and how that kind of feels, I don't know, like the new thing, even though it's kind of maybe the old thing. So I started building an app on React Native. I haven't quite finished it yet. It's my first foray into mobile development or iOS development. And one thing that I've been doing lately with AI development, I guess maybe even before then, is, and maybe this is just how I got started. I still have like this waterfall mentality where, and maybe that just kind of comes from prototyping, where I'll get all the front end nailed how I want it to, and then I can basically point AI at it and say, okay, now I need you to implement all the back end stuff. And that's easier for me to one shot once I get all the front end where I want it to. So that's where I am with the the mobile app that I'm working on. Is I just about got all the front end stuff locked in, and now I just want to be able to let it loose to integrate all the back end stuff and actually make it truly functionable.
Yeah, I do vertical slices when I implement anything, like feature by feature.
Like feature sets.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, so last week I talked a little bit about this Hermes agent that I've set up, and I have been programming with it all week, and I've been using my phone and my iPad to trigger these workflows. And what's interesting is I had part of the issues within Linear. Part of the app developed, and a lot of it was like, okay, I have the front end stuff. Certain pieces are connected to the back end, others aren't. And I just wasn't sure exactly where I was. Like, how much work do I have left? And so I just let AI, I was like, what do? I need to like wrap my head around all the remaining stuff. And it was like, let's build end-to-end tests for everything, and then we'll just go through it. So it's kind of like what you're saying with the slicing, but it just said like, I'm going to create these workflow end-to-end tests, and we'll figure out what parts are working and which aren't, and let that drive the rest of the to-do list and the rest of the tasks. So now the project's pretty close to being complete, just in letting it run those flows and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So I've enjoyed that, but it just felt like it got to a state where I was like, I don't even know where we are.
I think the reason why iOS development is getting popular, like now with web developers, is just like, you give a developer a tool to do something really quickly where you can abstract the code away. And now we're all just getting curious about iOS development. And if we weren't sold on React Native, let's say, like I wasn't ever sold on React Native, even though it is like a pretty easy bridge to get into it. I was like, if I was doing iOS development, I'm just going to go Swift. And so AI just takes away the barrier of writing Swift. So it's like, okay, now I can just code something on a different platform.
I think it's great that Taylor Swift has her own framework now.
This is why you're here, Chris. I wonder, if part of it is just if people are moving more to their phones.
They are. I was just at Render this week. The amount of there's so many people that are using their phones. They're using their phones to talk to their. Oh, hold on, let me add that to my agent. They picked up their phone. They said that they had their agent pick up a task. Like so many people. So I'm like, this is really a thing now, and I'm still wrapping my brain around it. I don't know why it's hard for me to just go. Why I just don't know if I want to use my phone to talk to an agent. Like, go and add a to-do to my to-do list. I could just, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what to do with it.
I hate using my phone for like anything on the web. It's terrible.
You're such a millennial.
Yep.
Oh man. I think the thing that surprised me, and I know that there's a balance here, is I don't want to always be connected. I want to be able to set it down, and I want to be able to turn off work. I do want there to be a delineation of like, okay, I'm not working. And my kids have a little bit of trouble with that. It's a little bit better now that I have like a true work computer, but it's funny, they'll computer and they start asking me, is this work or is this your work? But at least with my phone, I feel like my computer sat on my desk far more. And I can be, say, like chilling on the couch. I don't feel like I need to get up and get my computer or have it in front of me. I have a thought and I can just trigger it off and let AI run with it. So that's been really nice, that it doesn't feel like it's just lingering or, even if in the past, if I created a task, it's still like I've got to circle back on it and actually do it, where it's like, well, I'm thinking about it, I just have my Hermes agent run. Just do it. And
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah, I wanted to like improve my personal website. Everybody has really great personal websites. Chris, I look at yours, I look at Ryan's. They're very, very good. And I look at mine and I'm like, this sucks. I got to make it better. It's happening this year. It's happening right now.
Okay. Number one, yours does not suck. You know how many times, like, all right, I before I even knew you, I found your portfolio site once. I'm like, man, this guy's site is so cool. Like the button, the little, like it's just unique to you. And then now that I know you, it's just, it's an old version of you.
Yeah.
And you're ready for a makeover. Like, that's all that it is. And, something I've been thinking about, like, about sites and stuff. Like my site, I love the redesign that I did for it. And then I saw Ryan's. And I'm like, the minimal look. Man, I love the minimal look. But I'm like, no. I refuse to do another portfolio. Like, if I need to start making more content, not redesign my portfolio site over and over again. And I get caught in that loop because it's one thing, it's just, kind of mind, easy on the mind to just like, okay, I can redo my site. It gives me a lot of little stuff to do rather than actually get creative and start writing useful blog posts and stuff. So, but actually, how I found yours is when, what is it? What's the thing called? It's not what you're up to, but the
now.
So I've heard about Now, and then I went to the Now site. I'm like, and I was looking to see different people's, and I think I clicked on yours, and that's how I found your site initially, like years ago.
That's crazy. There's like thousands of people on that Now list.
Yeah, but how I did that, and then we ended up being friends. It was just fate.
Crazy.
So,
yeah. I basically told an agent today, like, review this entire code base, review the tech choices, the architecture, the libraries I'm using, everything, like performance. And I'm like, tell me what sucks about it. Design aside, tell me what sucks about it. We'll do a whole nother thing on design. And it came up with like some really, really, really good optimizations. Like I'm running my own markdown pipelines using Rehype and ASTs to like transform things. And it found a bunch of inefficiencies there. Apparently I'm shipping the entire unified library to the browser like an idiot. So like I've got like some work to do to make this better. And it suggested all these caching layers. And I'm like, okay, make GitHub issues for every single one of these. And like, just like you're saying, Amy, like one at a time, I'm just going to kind of flick it off on the phone and be like, go and see what it comes up with. Mm-hmm. And then that is like really hands-off development. I worry because I always use my site for like learning and things like that. But I guess you can consider this learning as far as like AI and automation and prompting goes. But I normally try to stay hands-on with the code. But I think AI is going to start taking over my personal website, which will be a first.
Also, I want to point out that nobody talked about how great the design engineer's website was.
Amy, check your microphone.
Work. I fixed it.
No, it sounds better now to me.
Okay, good.
It's on Scarlet. Yeah, thanks. Next time, just say it. I missed the message. Is it too quiet?
No, I think you're fine now. I think I just heard the echo initially, but okay, go on. Sorry.
Okay, you good? No, that's good. So I just want to point out, nobody commented. I love the design engineer's website. I'm not offended at all. It is a Tailwind template. So I totally took the easy way out on that one and did not even design my own site. So I think anytime you guys are talking about your own portfolio site, I feel a little bit of I've got to get on that too.
Let's link everybody's. Chris, I don't know.
You did myself teach me. That one's even broken.
It is. I'll put it in here. chrisnowicki.dev.
There you go.
Amy, yeah, I do know this Tailwind. This Tailwind template. It looks really nice.
Oh man, but I didn't design it, so I'm not offended. But yeah, I've wanted to add more content, and I've even thought about lately just making content for myself to keep around, to remember, like as I set up this Hermes agent, what are all the things that I did, or how did I implement all these pieces? Like I want to remember and make those notes for myself. I know that AI can implement a lot of that again, but some of it's just trying to remember all the pieces that I've added and all the things that I've learned along the way. It's not even necessarily content for somebody else as much as content for myself.
That's exactly how I view blogging. is like,
Mhm.
I want to write this as a memory of this project or as a
Mhm.
technique that I learned. I don't think about it as content creation because that just sounds like a job and that sounds
Yeah.
tiring. And I want to look back and be like, this is the things that happened to me, the
Mhm.
things I
Mhm.
built, the things I was aiming towards. And then you can look at your site and be like, oh, I like this. This is like a journal that I'm sharing with folks who care.
Yeah. Well, and I even like, Brad, that you include personal things on
Mhm.
your blog, that it's not just work stuff. Like, you made me cry talking about your dog.
Oh,
Just stuff
yeah.
like that, it's like, yes, it's sad, but like, I want to remember the season well.
Yeah. Chris Coyier, I think, was the guy who really like inspired me to do that generally
Mhm.
and their podcast because Chris and Dave just are like online buds who talk and their blogs are the same way. It's like, oh, look at this video game I played, or like let's talk about this coding thing I found. And it's very just like stream of conscious, whatever I'm interested, I'm gonna post about.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good. So, I'm gonna kinda segue a little bit because we were talking about just kicking stuff off. And I think, some of that fits into the token guilt, that I feel. So I know every week we've kind of joked that we talk about what models we're using, what workflows, and things like that. And since last week, I did increase my subscription for OpenAI. And so it's like, if I'm going to increase it, then I need to use it. And so I
Mm.
felt guilt of like every day checking how much usage do I have? What do I need to do? What prompts can I kick off just to make sure that I'm maximizing the agent? So there is a little bit of token guilt there to make sure that I get my money's worth.
How often are you depleting your tokens each week?
Well, it's hard to tell because we've gotten like 3 resets this week.
That's true.
And part of me is like, dang it. I probably would have been fine with the previous plan. But it's like also not knowing if you're going to get the reset and trying to just, pace yourself. I was going through, I guess, on the weekly plan, like depleting it within 2 or 3 days. And
Mm.
so I had gotten it on Saturday, like it was down to 0, and I was like, "I can't wait till Wednesday." And part of it was I was getting error messages from Hermes, which I suppose I could have hit pause or turned it off, but just the cron job errors where it's like, "I can't run this. I can't run this." Like, I don't wanna go 3 or 4 days without you being able to run your cron jobs. So, anyways, that was kind of what
Mm.
forced me to, increase my subscription, but it has also been nicer being like, I know I'm probably not gonna hit the bottom, or if I think I need to slow down, it's like then we've gotten a reset. So, I don't know, and I
Is this
don't
the $200 a month subscription?
no, 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 it's the
What is it? The
100.
100? Okay.
Yes, yeah. And so I can probably hit maybe about 20% a day is what I'm hitting. And I know that that's happened since I've added the Hermes agent, but I don't think it's related to the setup necessarily it consuming everything. I think it's more of like I'm just using it more because it's there and I'm
Yeah.
having it kick off code. I've also been using it more on the code side, whereas like I do have the $20 a month Claude subscription and I was using that. But it's like now that I know I'm paying more for this, I want to use it. I've been like leaning into Codex more on the personal code stuff as well.
Yeah, I can see like the minute you start doing remote agents, things just kind of exploding, right? You're just triaging things, logging issues, and then sending agents asynchronously to work on
Yep.
them. And yeah, that's how you end up blowing through token limits. I'm still fairly like
Mm.
in the driver's seat as I'm doing this
Mhm.
stuff. But I'm slowly starting to dip toes into like the work off of issues type thing.
Well, and the crazy part has been like right now I have it set where it has to provide evidence. So it gives me a screenshot of the changes that it made. I'm like, okay, this is like where
Cool.
you really get into it, where it's like I don't even need to pull up a browser to check it. I can see in the screenshot this isn't what I want, or this is a change I want you to make, which is again is crazy. It's also been wild to me what it catches. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that edge case. Yes, fix it, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real. Oh, man. Okay. Now that we're on the topic, like of AI. Go figure. I tried solving a font issue on my website like months ago, probably like December, as AI was like getting way better, and it couldn't do it. The font rendering in Safari looked like trash in comparison to Google. And like I asked even in the Discord, like nobody had a solution that worked the way that I thought it was going to. So it's been busted forever. I decided to throw an agent at it again today, and it found it immediately. No questions asked. It's like, oh, dude, in your font face definitions, you didn't give font weight ranges because I'm using variable fonts. And they're like, if you don't specify a range, Safari just kind of YOLO renders like something that looks terrible, whereas Chrome handles it more gracefully. So if you specify your ranges, everything's fine. One of the many things it found in the audit today.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So have you are you guys going to use Grok or Grokbot? No. I'm so curious.
I want to try. I've heard so many good things about it recently that I want to give it a try. You know?
Yeah, I got so much FOMO.
What's supposed to be so good about it?
It looks like, at least some of the tweets that I've seen, people have said it's like OpenClaw 2.0, and just being
I've heard
able
the same thing.
Kind of have those triggers, and then seeing how well things worked with the Hermes agent. I'm like, I can understand the draw for someone wanting to be able to do that and do it in a way that's easier. So, I am probably at least going to give it a try. I really, I don't want to add on another subscription. That would be the goal. But I'm not sure exactly what tasks I would throw at it either. So,
yeah, I had a lot of conversations this past week over, the different models, structuring models, which models to use. Even internally at our company, they're releasing tools to where leadership will be able to see what models people are using on a regular basis, so they could see who's YOLOing like Fable the whole time, or for tasks that Haiku could be doing. So it's really interesting to it's really interesting to start to see how organizations, as cost increase goes up, they're really starting to see and tell people, hey, they may even turn off Fable, like for some of us, just for the whole org, because there's no need for anybody to use Fable from what they are saying, right? So it's this whole conversation of, should we have access to it from a corporation perspective? And then from a personal perspective, I guess it doesn't matter. But the conversations I had were typically using Fable, or I've been going back to Opus 4.8 because Opus 5 sucks. It's horrible. It's just awful. What should take a 5-minute task takes 40 minutes, and it's insane. So what a lot of people are doing is they're going, okay, I'm going to use Fable or Opus at a high thought level for my planning. And then I switch to a lower level model like Sonnet or Haiku to execute the task, because they can execute those tasks. It may go a little bit slower because it's not that higher thinking model, but it still works. So then you're not going through your usage as fast, and you're using lower models that don't consume as much tokens to be able to execute a specific task. But I didn't hear people talking a lot about like orchestrations and orchestrators, where like you tag one thing to do it and then it passes off to multiple type things. What I heard most commonly was, yep, I create the plan and then I kind of exit out of the plan. I switch my model, then tell it to execute the plan that it just listed, because it compresses the context when you switch the model. So
I've been going with Soul to create the plan, do all the things, and then I've been running Luna High to execute, which seems to be doing really well. And I've even switched over at work to using Soul instead of Opus or Sonnet, which is it's like I hate that that's the case, but it seems to work. And as much as I hate to admit it, it just feels like OpenAI's models are a little bit more stable.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that much swing from release to release.
Absolutely. Soul, medium, straight ahead for me.
I'm also been curious to experiment a little bit with DeepSeek. I know Google has had a little bit of drama lately because their head of DeepSeek left. So there's been a little bit of change in personnel, but they just released a new model that's supposed to be quite good. As well as like Kimi 3, that's supposed to be really good too. So I thought about trying to experiment to see how that does on the execution side.
So these are the open weight models, right?
Yeah. So I was going to explain that because I didn't understand that until probably about this last week. Like there's a difference between open source and open weight. Do you want to explain?
Can you explain that?
I can barely explain that. In my mind, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's about where I am too.
So it's not, they're not telling you what it's trained on and how they trained it, but instead, once it produces this, I think it's like some kind of graph-based neural, I don't know, this is where I lose it. They publish like the weights that all the different facets of this decision-making tree utilize. So I think in essence, what this means is that you can only get, OpenAI models from OpenAI because they don't disclose their weights and training processes. Whereas here, if you did want to try to replicate Kimi or whatever, you could, download these weights and try to run these models locally, whereas you could not do that with other models, OpenAI, Anthropic, etc. You have to use their APIs or their harnesses.
Yeah, that's even maybe a little bit more than I understood it. I guess I just thought you could maybe, and maybe that's what you're saying, tweak the weights on it to get the models to do certain things or focus on certain things, but it's not like you have access to the full model. Maybe that's just like what you're describing as the training data.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Some of this, I've been listening to Hard Fork, which I think they're maybe on their way out. It's a podcast done by the New York Times where they talk about AI stuff. And one of the reasons that I like it is they'll talk a little bit about the technical side, but they'll also talk a lot about like the political or just the approaches and things like that. It's not all about coding. And so they've talked a little bit too about like implications with the government and how they're regulating those things and how that applies with the open weights versus not. And what all those processes look like. So that's been really interesting to follow.
Yeah, all these AI companies are playing a very big game right now. That isn't just about tech and pricing.
Yes. Chris, I'm curious. One of the things that I've been wondering about, because I've historically spoken at conferences a lot in the fall, is like, what are people even talking about at conferences? Because it's not like I would expect to go to a tech talk and somebody explain that stuff. Like,
it is wild. It's wild. It's let me, where's my, hold on. Give me a second to pull up the app. But I mean, it was all everything AI. Like every talk had the word AI in it. So it had something to do. Like I went to one on why your rules, how to successfully use rules in your AI, in your AgentsMD file or a CloudMD file to steer the agent to do something correctly rather than embedding rules and using the wrong words. Like, for example, they talked about use the word must, don't use the word should. Use the word don't instead of shouldn't. Very firm, like how to word specific things and like best practices there. One of the main stage talks was basically a whole intro into skills and what skills are and the best way to organize skills. Some of them or a lot of them were workshops. Like there was one workshop by Sanity where they developed a like company wiki using Sanity and their new AI agents that they're using. There's new tools out there, the Zephyr cloud team. They're about to launch, and this is Shashi's company. They're launching the AI platform that I've been working in right now to help them with the proof of concept apps and stuff like that. But it's all AI. It's basically everything AI, how AI does this, how I use it to do this, how you can do this with AI, or what company tools is our AI using and the things that you can do with our company tools. So,
did some of that feel like it was a couple months old? Like, I'm just thinking by the time you put your CFP in, like 2 months will have gone by and you'll have a whole new set of models. And now people are like, are skills a thing?
That conversation did come up a few times of like, our skills are even a thing. And even are they so polluted right now that they're bloating our token usage when our token usage doesn't someone talked about how we put things into our token, into our we explain things about our tool inside of our AgentsMD file, inside of CloudMD, that it inherently knows. It knows what all of the programming styles are out there. It knows all that stuff. So instead of spelling it out, and the most common one that I heard is trash, and I heard this across all of them, is it is pointless to tell your agent, act like a 30-year-old senior software engineer that is an expertise in doing this. It's from an output perspective, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing because your agent already has all the experience it needs from everything it's been fed and trained on. The only thing that changes is how it talks to you. So it's going to talk to you like a senior developer, but the output will be the same as if you said you're a junior. Same thing. It's not going to, the slop at any level is the same slop. It doesn't matter. And so there was a lot of talks that were more around how do we maximize our token usage? Because that's the big topic right now, is by debloating the context that goes into our LLMs that read it every single time we're going through. So, but it from the last time, I think the last time I saw you at a conference was that conference, Texas. I think that's the last time that I saw you at a conference. And since then, it's just bizarre. It's every talk is, and even my talk at CYC coming up in 2 weeks is docs in the age of AI, why we should still treat docs as a product. But my talk is somewhat AI related because that's just how things have changed, which is weird because we used to go to what is the best way to write a React hook? What is the best way to, how to use effect more efficiently, or why you should use callback and when to use callback and all that sort of stuff. And now it's, well, how do you steer the agent to use the proper tools? Point it to a skill, like a React skill that knows how to do it, or point it to this. So
I don't even think you need React skills to do that.
No,
it knows that.
It just
like, you don't have to tell it the rules of React.
Yeah.
So
I've got to clean up all my skills on my computer because I know I have all that. Or I have skills for setting up Git work trees. It doesn't need that.
No, it knows how to do Git work tree. It knows how to do all of that. And I have, even at work, like I'm kind of working a part day today. I got back this morning and I'm working a part day. And one of the things on my list to do next week is to go through a lot of my agentic tools and skills and orchestrators that I set up for our doc site, going, are we wasting tokens by some of these? How much of this stuff can just be inferred by what it knows, and start getting rid of a lot of the crap that's in there. So, because when I first implemented it, it was important. But now it's not.
Do you feel like conferences are less like energizing and exciting now that you're just getting beaten over the head by the same AI buzzwords?
This was my 4th year at Render, and it has changed significantly. And I think this applies to all conferences. it was a different feel for me personally, and maybe a few other people that I talked to. It felt a little bit different. Yeah, I don't think I still think it's energizing, but I think it's people just connecting IRL. It's
Yeah,
people
I can
connecting,
see that.
talking, learning from one another, meaning be like us getting together to have a cup of coffee, and Brad's telling me how he's using his agentic tools. Amy, you're saying how you use your agentic tools, and we pull ideas from each other and then we go and implement them and play around with them and sit around and hack together and stuff like that. That is, I think, the value of conferences now. And
That's a good point.
And the talks, I see value in them. The problem that I think conferences need to do now is, like, Render this year, it used to be a 3-day conference. It used to be day 1 was workshops, day 2 and 3 were the actual like conference days where you had the main stage speakers, you had the side speakers. There were so many speakers going on for they compacted it down to 2 days this year, and there was so many to choose from. Going through the list, I'm like, I maybe went to like 4 talks, and my boss asked me, he goes, well, what did you get out of it this week? Because he was there too. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just had fun hanging out and connecting with people. I don't know if I actually got anything truly valuable or mind-blowing from the conference. So I think conferences are going to need to start, actually, it's the people who are speaking. I think they're going to need to choose people that people want to go and see and really look up to pull them into those specific talks and really narrow down the talks to what is important at the time. But back to your point, Amy, usually CFPs go out 6 to 8 months prior to a conference, and the whole AI, I'm going to call it the AI era, the Swifty era, is changing so fast that we're in like the 20 millionth era from 6 months ago. So
one of the things that I loved about that conference, RIP, was that Clark who's the organizer, was very intentional about creating space for people to meet up and talk about the things that were interesting to the group of people that came. So for example, we would have these main talks around the room, but then there would also be a board where somebody would say, hey, I want to talk about AeroPress coffee. Or Brad did one, hey, I have my one wheel. And even though those aren't necessarily tech related, people would gather around those tables at the specified time and share their experiences. Or Brad let people ride on his one wheel. And so that created a unique experience just for the conference that was there. You really wouldn't know that those opportunities were there until you actually showed up. And sometimes nobody would show up, and so then that person would just go to another group, or sometimes like a huge group of people would show up to that little like micro group or circles. I don't even remember what Clark called it, but I've never seen that happen at another conference. And in some regard, based on what you're saying, Chris, I feel like you could almost make an entire conference of just that. I know that'd be harder to get a draw of people there, but in the same sense, maybe it could just be cheaper or more local to the group that lives in that area anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think now, because the value isn't in the techniques, we had always known experts of like, this is the React hook guy, this is the React router person, this is the CSS person. All of that technology and deep expertise we're pretty much chalking up to AI. So now it's about, I guess it's about like personality, big name speakers. Maybe somebody built something cool with it, not how they built it necessarily. It's like kind of less important, but now it's like what people built. And all of a sudden I'm like more interested in like talking about the app level of things. What app did you build, and how are you marketing it, or figuring out features, or why did you choose mobile versus web? Like, all of a sudden my brain just went up a level, and I don't have to think about all the developer stuff anymore, which is probably how like a lot of these entrepreneurs think. And it's just unlocking our developer brains now, because I always used to be so mechanically focused. And now it's like, oh, this is what like people who actually want to like make money think about, is like, what is the product? What is the marketing? What is the delivery mechanism?
Yep. Well, I even saw Kent C. Dodds post earlier this week about something, and somebody commented and was like, "Hey, you used to be like the React testing guy or the Epic React guy. Like, when are you going to do something great like that?" And he was like, "Is that needed right now? Because it seems kind of pointless." And I think Angie may have responded and was like, "I'd low key judge you if you were like explaining use effect right now, just because that's like, I'm not sure that's needed. It's more important to go up to that product level that you were describing."
Yeah, and one of the things I applaud Kent for is he'll sit there and say it. Like he'll be like, me teaching React, I can't sustain income if I keep doing that. So I have to pivot. And he was super vocal about it and tried pivoting. And like that's important. And I think that's how you remain pretty relevant. And he did it in a way that didn't seem like an existential crisis. He did it in a way where like he was making a solopreneur, business decision about what he's going to do in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I put Matt Pocock in that category too, because he was a TypeScript guy and now he's AI hero. And it was like when he first made that, I thought, oh man, he's getting on the AI train. But now his skills package is one of the most popular repos like in GitHub right now, or at least in that niche.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, that even seems mistimed a little bit now, or misplaced a little bit now.
Because that's part of it.
Yeah. It's just that's good. Now let's move on to the next thing. Cool. Maybe we don't need those anymore. And the models are getting pretty good at this.
Well, and he's been great too about the evals to say, test your skills, see if this is needed or not.
Yep.
So as we're talking about like actually building things, Brad, I know you've been working on your finance app. You want to talk about
I want to hear about this.
There?
Yeah.
I can actually show it because I finally threw up like a demo site with like fake numbers and everything. Oh, actually, you know what? I might not want to show it. It has my some of my account structure stuff on there. I take it back. All the numbers are fake. So it's going really good. I've got like Cloudflare Access protecting everything, which is nice. I can only let in like who I want to let in, and it's just a deployed worker with a D1 database in the back, holding all of my like account definitions and balances for the past couple of years. And to get my data in there the first time, I used AI to create like an importer script from my spreadsheet and pull it into D1. And now I've built out basically just a couple main features. One is like a capture flow that I go through every week, where it's like, what day is it? Record all your account balances, and then we're going to walk you through what to do with like your excess cash or whatnot. Like I have a specific investing or saving strategy that I go through, and it tells me like, okay, based on what you have, put this much over here and this much over here. You tick the boxes when you're done and press OK, and we'll give you a big summary of everything that happened this week. And I can look at those capture summaries all through history, which is pretty cool. I have like an accounts page where I can like add or remove accounts, and then I have an insights page, which is really what I wanted to see. And it's basically like, how much are you spending? What is your 12-week rolling average, your 52-week rolling average, and your all-time average? And how do those three lines relate to one another? So like looking at one graph, I can say I've been spending more or less relative to a certain time range, which has been super helpful. And then I've got my like retirement prediction, where it's like, given your rate of increase or your monetary increase over the past year, if we extrapolate that into the future, when could you retire? And you can set all the parameters for that. And there's some really smart defaults, and then it'll just tell you, okay, this is when you can expect to retire after you hit this certain value. It's really been good. I've used it 1 week so far. The last Sunday was the first time I did it, and it was like very, very smooth. And then I put it on the phone. So now it's like it's just a web page like saved to my phone, but it's like this little W in the corner. If it will ever focus. Come on. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That is so, I love the logo, by the way. I love the iteration that you did on that.
I'm like digging it. And then like the UI is looking pretty good too. So
are you going to share it? You're going to show it?
I don't think I could show it because it has some like account stuff in there.
That's okay. We don't mind. Just joking.
Go for it.
We'd be interested to see that too.
That's the hard thing here is So I was able to get like a demo environment up, and it's right now it's up and protected to share with like my brother-in-law because he's like a finance guy and he was interested in it. I'm like, okay, well, I don't mind like sharing that kind of stuff with him
Sure.
with the fake numbers. But then the minute you start thinking about opening this up to more people, all of the cool things that made this personal software have to become generalized, and it's infinitely harder to develop for and configure. And that's what made it so nice in the first place. Like these are my conventions in code, and I didn't have to go through and do all that stuff. But to open it up to other people means like getting rid of a lot of custom logic that I had in there.
That's kind of interesting, even just like the talking about building things and the trajectory of software. As stuff becomes more personal, it's more functional for us.
Yeah.
But it's like this is what I wanted all along. But also like it doesn't mean anything to anybody else. You know, our friend Brian's been working on a fitness app, and I think he could probably say the same thing. Some of the things that he's tweaked about his diet or his workflows with planning his exercise and fitness and all those things, but it's specific to him. He doesn't have to think what is a flow that's a user would want to go through. Like,
right.
It's me. What do I want it to do? And
right,
so like there's both
the
beauty in it, but like attention.
At the same time, like maybe you have to know I'm making this one for me, not to sell. But of course, you know, your gears are always turning because as soon as you get a really functional product for yourself, you're like, oh man, other people would probably love this. And then you're like, I have to wreck it to like get it there.
Or is it just like a matter of we get better software, but like more niche audiences that
like, look, if you're signing up for this, you're signing up for my way of managing money. And that's like in part what is being sold in this case is like the Brad's wealth management, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like Dave Ramsey. When you sign up for him, you sign up for his money management style. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's kind of interesting.
There's a whole rabbit hole there. I have friends that work at Ramsey. Did I tell you all years ago I applied to be a Scrum Master at Ramsey?
Did you?
Yes.
Are you certified? You Scrum certified?
I was Scrum certified, man. Yeah. Actually, I was.
Dang.
I was. Now, but in the interview with them though, like, so what do you think of our app? I'm like, I hate it. And I was honest with them. I was like, I think it's awful. I think it's an awful app. I said, I use YNAB. And let me tell you why, because I have way more control over it.
Is this every dollar?
Yeah. Yeah. And so anyway, long story short is like COVID hit. And so they just kind of dropped off. But I'm glad because like I put together a whole proposal. I basically put together a proposal of how to make it like. Why not?
You would have been in Nashville.
I would have been in Nashville. Things would have been so different, but who knows? I would have never met them.
I interviewed there in September. So, and then other things happened. So,
probably better things.
Yeah. Get to work with Brad.
Cloud player.
Holla.
Oh man. Let's see. Do we get everything for the most part? I'm looking at the list.
We got everything. But you want to do a side project update? Like a lightning round of side project updates right now?
Yes.
Amy, you want to start?
Yeah. So the two that I'm focusing on, there's one called Formtastical, where I have this just kind of dates it, but that's totally fine. I have a ton of sites that were using a serverless form service. Because when that was all the hype, it was like serverless is awesome, but you need a way to handle form data. And so I bought into a service and absolutely love them. I think it's a great service, but I had just maxed out my plan with them because I had like 30 sites. I put all my sites on it. And so just kind of getting to the point of why am I paying somebody else to do this when it's just collecting form data? And so I canceled my plan and kind of used that as motivation to finish this app. So I've been working on that. And that's probably the one that I've been working on the most recently with my Hermes agent. There's a few other side projects that I want to nail out now that I feel like I have a template for what that workflow needs to look like with my agent. So who knows? I might be bumping up that Codex plan again. But there's several services. I'm kind of on that SaaS apocalypse right now of like, I want to end all my subscriptions. I'll pay an extra $100 for Codex if that means that I can get rid of, $500 in subscriptions or, whatever. I'm just throwing numbers out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been my plan. I do have that iPhone app that I mentioned earlier called Worth Reading. And that really is one that it's like just for me. Like I want a way to track the books that I've read. And then I want it to make insightful suggestions about books to read. And like I say, it's for me. This is so dumb. I also want my mom to use it. I'm like, my mom would never use any of the other apps I make, but I feel like she would use this one. So anyways, that's kind of the point behind it. But I should have that wrapped up by next week, just because we've made it through all the end-to-end workflows and it's hammered out a lot of bugs. So most of it right now is just making sure of like, okay, is V1 done and everything left? Is that really V2? So feeling good about it.
I need to make Worth Playing video game one.
Yeah.
I would like, I love that.
You better buy it now.
Right. Yeah.
Get the domain.
Chris, what do you got?
I am working on, I was just on the Zephyr podcast for this one. I'm working on a mini app. I'm still learning about mini apps, but they're pretty cool. And I'm working on a mini app that helps me dial in coffee that I'm looking at potentially monetizing. But it's really cool, like how mini apps work, building it in the AI platform. It's super easy to do. And the crazy thing is like, it's not in the app store, it just loads in your browser and the database is stored per phone, like locally. So it's one of those crazy things where I could give you the URL once I have it deployed, and Brad, you could load it on your phone and it starts out fresh and seated with instructions, hook it up to AI, whatever. And then you can start dialing in your coffee if we like use the same coffee methods. It's pretty cool. I'm playing around with it. It's, our buddy Shashi works there. And so they're getting ready to launch on Product Hunt on Tuesday. So for everyone out there, the AI platform on Tuesday, go vote them up. So there's that. And I don't know what else I'm working on right now because my brain is fried from the week and getting caught up at work today.
Yeah, we were talking about the trade-offs of Friday podcasting. It's like so much in our heads. I feel like I just finished a round of projects and I'm kind of looking around for the next one. We did the board and batten in the bathroom. Turned out really nice. We did. I finished the finance app, which I'm like officially calling done, unless my brother-in-law has a bunch of like actual financial feedback for me, which I should definitely implement. But like I said, I kicked off like a bunch of, or at least logged a bunch of issues on my personal website, just like fixing performance and just like a couple small architecture things. Definitely going to handle that. But I think football season has started, preseason started, and I've been talking about the Super Bowl Squares app forever. I'm going to make it happen. So by the time regular season starts, I want a Super Bowl Squares app. And this is like not like a paid thing. It's not like gambling or anything. The idea is just like you and some friends throw your names down on like Super Bowl Squares or like you could select any game. It's not just the Super Bowl. And like, it's up to you and your friends to determine what the winner gets. Like we always used to play for drinks or shots or whatever. And so like any Sunday you could be like, oh, my team's playing your team. Let's put our names on a board. And like loser has to eat a jalapeno or whatever. I don't know. You can make up the stakes.
Oh, I don't know if I want to eat a jalapeno.
Like they're in trouble right now with lettuce. Don't.
Yeah, right.
I'm so afraid every time I have lettuce now. I'm like, am I going to get the diarrhea?
I know.
Yeah.
I can order a salad. That sounds good. We should stick it in our Discord and play people in Discord.
I will. I actually have like 2 separate code bases. I tried building it twice, and one was more successful than the other. Kind of, but now I need to like smash them all together and like actually start, getting it to somewhere.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's move. Do you want to do picks and plugs? I do like the idea of like side project update being a normal
kinda
segment.
nice.
Okay, let's move into the next segment of the show called Picks and Plugs, where we pick something that we like and we plug something generally that we've worked on. Do you guys have picks and plugs?
Wait, which ones? I always get these backwards.
I usually do pick as in something that I've bought, like I'm gonna pick it. Plug is like shameless plug.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay, I did this. I can go first. Chris, I did not take your advice.
Oh no.
I just bought something and I did not buy what you picked.
Oh no.
I did get an Anchor, or
Oh, those
I've
are
been
fine.
listening
Yeah.
to too much West Boss. I always call these Anchor.
Anchor.
I think it really is Anchor.
I say Anchor.
Really? Okay, well, I'll just be Canadian. But it's a nano power bank. And I do like it because you can push the button, and it'll tell you how much power is on it. It has USB-A, USB-C, which I'm also trying to teach my children what the plugs are. They don't know yet. So if anybody has tips and tricks for that, but it has a retractable cord. So the reason that I got this little cute baby power charger is because I've been doing more on my iPad. And I'm like, hey, when this runs out, I don't want to carry around a giant brick. I just want something that'll top me off. So then I got the little baby. But these are great. I've even thought, I'm not sure I would go this far, but my kids fight over the large brick that we have. And I was like, even if I just got them all a tiny brick, this should do well on a trip for being able to top off the tablets or the switches. So highly recommend. It's the Nano. And then for my plug, I know I've plugged this a few times recently, but I just feel like the content's been good. Go to the Cloudflare blog. It's blog.cloudflare.com. One, I helped redesign it and get out the door. But like I said, the content's been good. We had Agent Week last week. And kind of as a follow-up, the Astro team just put out a post about how they've decreased all of their issues and PRs on their blog using agents. And there's some really interesting workflows there and how they're leveraging AI to be able to manage their repo. And I feel like it's kind of in line with a lot of the stuff that I'm reading right now about app factories. And so anyways, it's good content. So we'll include a direct link to that specific post.
Perfect. And I think it's okay that you didn't go with my recommendation. All Anchors are great Anchors.
I did like the big one. It just was too big. I have a big battery. And
it's
a commitment.
Yeah. I'm happy. So when I was filming a podcast while at Render, and Ken Wheeler was sitting next to me and his phone was at like 3%. And I'm like, dude, I got you. And so I just sat there. It worked great. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Is he as funny as I think he is?
He's an experience. It's like going,
yeah, okay.
It's an experience. He's super cool guy, by the way, like super cool guy, super smart. He's a personality of his own, and he's hilarious. It's an experience for sure.
Yeah.
I am going to plug the AI platform. I think it's the AIplatform.com. I think it is. If you use the code TAP1, TAP1, you get 1 month for $1. Try it out. They're launching on Product Hunt on Tuesday, so give them a shout out. Our buddies work there, so just kind of helping them plug their stuff, And then picks. I don't have a pick today.
That's okay.
Okay, for me, I'm on a new video game. I finished something recently. Oh, Halo. I played Halo, finished it. But now I'm on Splatoon Raiders on Switch, and it's awesome.
Ooh.
It's, I guess you would call it kind of almost like a Diablo, but in dungeons. Kind of, you like go do a little 2 to 5 minute mission, come back, upgrade your weapons, do the next one, and you do that for like 15 hours. Progression's really good. It's kind of like one of those sweaty games where you're like really having to focus and like not die, very intensely for a couple minutes. I like it. Kids can play it, adults can play it. It's pretty friendly. Good Nintendo game. And I suppose Splatoon Raiders, it's called. So it's not multiplayer, it's like single player.
Is it the old one or it's a new one?
New one that just came out.
Okay, so we have the old one, I think.
Yeah, the old ones I think mostly were designed around multiplayer matches, like who can get paint everywhere or whatever.
Yeah.
This new one is more like shooting paint at fish and like killing them.
Fun.
Yeah. And then for my plug, I'm just gonna plug my website. Keep your eyes out there. I'm gonna be making some like performance improvements and stuff there, and hopefully giving it a little facelift here soon.
Love it. Love it.
Cool.
Thanks everybody. Oh, were you gonna say something?
Nope.
I'm good. Okay. Thanks everybody for hanging out on this Friday afternoon. If you are listening in your podcatcher of choice, please leave a rating and review. Helps other people find the show. And we'll have we do have some special guests coming up. I'm not sure everybody knows about. So stay tuned. Just leave that out there. Until next time, that's all we got.
There you go.